Happy Tuesday. We have been through the parable of the prodigal son. We're doubling back and calling out some lessons. Yesterday, I made the point that religion doesn't work, that moral improvement doesn't work, that we need to depend upon God's grace. Christianity leads Christians to believe that people of other faiths can have goodness and wisdom to offer. It leads us to expect, if we understand the Christian faith, it leads us to expect that many of these other people live lives that are better than the lives we are living. They are better husbands or wives, better parents, better employees, whatever. They are better. We are not. Christians do not think we are morally superior to other people. Most people in our culture believe that if there is a God, we can relate to him and ultimately go to heaven through leading a good life. That's religion. That's the moral improvement theory. Christianity teaches the very opposite. So we looked at that yesterday and said this is clearly one of the messages of the parable of the prodigal son. The second point, God will take us back. God is the father figure, and in this parable, he takes back the rebellious, unemployed party animal who had wronged him. As a matter of fact, more than that, the portrayal of God in this parable by Jesus is that God is like a little lovesick puppy who runs back towards us with the slightest encouragement. He cares more for you than he does about his sin, about your sin. He wants you back. He will go to virtually any lengths to make that happen. Years ago, I heard at a business seminar, I heard a presenter ask, he was trying to talk about priorities and motivation, and he said, imagine that there's a 1-foot beam that's 6 feet across. And he asked this woman, he says, would you walk across this beam? And she said, I would. He said, what if I raised it up 3 feet? She said, yeah, I'd walk across it. And he said, what if I raised it up 6 feet? She said, no. He said, what if I offered you $100 to walk across it at 6 feet? She said, okay, I'd do it. He says, okay, what if I raised it up, and this was a long time ago, what if I raised it up between the twin trade towers in New York? What if it was at the very top of the two towers? Would you walk across it then for $100? And she said, no. He said, would you walk across it for $1 million? And she said, no. He said, would you walk across it to save the life of one of your children? And she said, yes, without question. Okay. So it's just a matter of trying to figure out what was motivating people. She said, without hesitation. Well, actually what she said when he asked is, which child? Which was actually a good laugh line. But she quickly said, I would walk across any plank in order to save one of my children. That is the message that we're getting from the parable of the prodigal son. In fact, what we're being told here is God would run across the plank. Men and women, this is a shocking parable. This is a shocking, disruptive parable at so many levels. What we're being told is that though prodigals, though we have betrayed God, though we have walked away, with the slightest encouragement, if we will repent and turn back, God will run towards us. He is watching the horizon for our return. Have a good day.